Good morning, everyone. Well, today we are going to be walking the 7th Avenue Street Festival in Park Slope, known as 7th Heaven. So this was the big one that we went to last year, and we're going to be doing it again this time. And the only difference this time is I'll be speaking about it. So we are starting on Sterling Place. And again, this is on 7th Avenue in Park Slope, and it's supposed to go all the way down to, I believe, 10th or 11th Street. But we will find out, when we get to the end. This is a big, long street festival. This is, I don't want to be wrong here, but I feel that this is the longest street festival that I know of. So they're having a church service here, outdoor church service.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, it's a long festival. Last year there was a situation where we got on a block where there was just nothing but food trucks and food stands, and it was very hard to walk through, so we'll see if that happens again. But we'll do our normal walkthrough for those who have never seen one of these that I do. There's always new people coming into the channel, so welcome. The way we do these, the way I do these, is I walk through slow the first time, taking a look at everything there is, and then we come straight back without stopping if we don't have to stop. So now the avenue is not completely closed. All of the intersections going through are open, so we'll have to stop at every intersection. And it looks like all of the food stands are right at the beginning this year. So today it is Sunday. I'll do a date check here because I lose track of time. It is June 16th. Today is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to anyone that has kids. I got a little funny story. I got to make a shout out. So Joey Brooklyn, if you're listening, happy Father's Day. So Joey Brooklyn, if you don't know him, he has a YouTube channel. And he texted me this morning and he wished me happy Father's Day. Only problem is I don't have kids, so so I got a little nervous. I was like, wait, does he know something I don't? Like, what's going on here? I mean, I know I was in the military, and I met a lot of ladies all over the world at one point, but I don't know of any kids running around that I have. But in all fairness to Joey, he's never really asked me any personal questions, or he doesn't know anything about my personal life. So, but he wished me happy Father's Day, but I'm not father. So, pass that happy Father's Day on to all of you that do have kids. So, happy Father's Day to Joey, and happy Father's Day to everybody else. Hopefully I don't end up with alimony papers in the mail, or child support papers, or whatever they call those things. I don't remember if I told everyone what the temperature was. It is gorgeous outside. It's 73 degrees. The weather is obviously much nicer than our last walk, our thunderstorm walk. Very dry out, you know, no humidity, and the winds are coming out of the north, so it's a really nice day. It feels more like fall than it does like summer. Summer is about to start soon. Officially. I consider, you know, once it hits June, I consider that's the beginning of summer, but it's still not the official start of summer. So far, it feels like we've passed a lot of food stands.
You got a not block.
Now this street festival has, you know, has a lot of stuff. It has, obviously, you can see vendors that are selling goods, retail. You have a lot of vendors that sell food, of course. There is a stage. Well, there was a stage last year. We'll see if there's a stage this year. We passed some rides back there for the kids. There might be another section that has rides. Looks like everyone's, you know, just out doing their thing. Another, you got another food stand here, Korean food. And we got another food stand right there. This is just a lot of food stands. It's like a food festival over here. We'll see. We'll see, you know, when we get down to like 8th Street, if they have that block that has all those food stands where you can't walk through. It's so crowded. Last year when we went through that block, it was murder trying to walk through that block. There was a line all the way down, I think it was like 8th or 9th Street, and then you got onto the block itself and it was just packed. Got an art stand right here. I like that 7 train. See a 7 train in the back? We just did a walk over Queensboro Bridge a few days ago, about a week ago. Burger Boys is here. Seems I see them at all of the street festivals now. All right, we've made it to President Street. Like I said, this is normally goes all the way down to like 11th Street, so we haven't even hit the number streets yet. So you got some art stands next to each other here. And we have to always take a look at Old First Reformed Church.
And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but you.
It's a pretty old church here in Park Slope. very popular when it comes to the architecture. It's right on the corner of Carroll Street. Now, we just did a 7th Avenue walk a few weeks ago, so you might be having deja vu. We did this walk and I was showing off this church, so today is the festival. I wait for these cars. Traffic is open on the side streets. I'm gonna do that thing I did last time. I'm gonna stop right here. And we're gonna zoom in. If you look all the way out there, you can kind of see how far down this goes. We're kind of in the dip right now before we go back uphill. There's a big part of the avenue here. You got these double yellows. So the avenue widens out a bit over here. A lot more walking space. That's a way to carry a dog. Yo, it never ceases to amaze me, like all these new dog carrying techniques. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna comment on if that's comfortable enough for the dog, but I just, I don't know if I would carry a baby like that.
You got a lot of excitement, right? We can talk about it, but
All right, we are on Garfield Place. Yep, this sounds like the stage is over here, I think. I don't know. Oh, it's this guy is walking with a like a box. See him right here? It's this guy right here. There you go. Man, it's not, he's walking around with a stage. I mean, it was. I thought that was a stage music. Oh, there you go, guys. It wouldn't be a street festival without our little squeaking dog toys. That's the traditional trademark of Stride Warrior Festival walks, is those little squeaking dogs. You will hear those squeaking dogs in every one of our walks on the street festivals. Anybody need socks? They got socks here. See some Mona Lisa socks. SpongeBob SquarePants socks. All right, we've made it to First Street. And we got some more rides, and I'll do another zoom in to show you how much more we have to go here. Let's see, we're going to be walking all the way down there. Got some more rides for the kids. All right, we are now walking uphill. Get a look at this classic here. And it is for sale.
I got you.
So now we are walking uphill. You can see there is just a lot of vendors selling a lot of goods.
That's what
I always wonder, you know, if these vendors pull in a lot of money. I'm sure there's a lot of money being pulled in, you know, in the total sense, but I always wonder about individually, you know. All right, we've made it to 3rd Street. And like all the streets in Park Slope, a lot of trees. I think I've said this in the past, the majority of trees in Brooklyn always seems to be in Park Slope. I mean, there's just lots of trees on all these blocks. This is one of the reasons why I don't do thunderstorm walks in this neighborhood. Although I could stay on the avenues, but you wouldn't want to be on the streets during a really bad thunderstorm because you could either get struck by lightning or you get hit with a fallen limb or something. Speaking of thunderstorms, that last walk we did, that thunderstorm, man, caught me off guard how fast it came across the harbor. I thought I still had about 5 minutes worth of walking, and then I had to make a last minute decision. I'm like, oh, well, there goes a steamroller. That's solid. I could get in front of that. And it was crazy because like right as soon as I stopped there, the storm like just went crazy. I could only imagine what would have happened if I was still out in the open like that, because those were some strong winds. If anybody's wondering what I'm talking about, just look at the last walk I did. We do, if any new people, I do a lot of storm chases and thunderstorm walks. So this is the food block here. So this is the block that was very crowded last year. As you can see, it's crowded here today. Yep, it is crowded, that's for sure. Now, we'll walk through it this time, but coming back, I'll probably get on the sidewalk.
Existing soil.
We made it to 5th Street. I would say we probably got about 5 or 6 more blocks of this. We'll find out how far down this goes. A lot of times these, they'll list the street festival they'll list it as start in one street and end in another, but sometimes they have a buffer for security, so. We got some loud music. Got some more food carts. And last year that guy was here and he had the music so loud that people were covering their ears. So it's a lot more manageable today. You see a lot of different food stands on these 2 blocks that we're walking right now. Now, I've tried these guys' chicken. Their chicken's good, Kung Fu chicken. They have that soy garlic chicken. All right, we have made it to 6th Street. We're still going.
Oh yeah, you want to come too?
A little thin in this block. There is a hospital right next to me to my left. So this is a hospital right here on 7th Avenue. So when we get on to the next block, it'll pick back up again as far as activity. You got a church. Corner of 7th Street. You know what I didn't notice yet, and I don't see it? Doesn't look like they have a stage here this year. And it's possible that they just couldn't afford it if it's not here. I haven't seen it yet. It would have been back there already, though. I know, like, one note about another street festival that isn't happening this year is the Sheepshead Bay festival. They couldn't have a festival this year because they just couldn't raise the money for it. So they had to cancel it. All right, we made it to 8th Street. It looks like this goes all the way down to 11th Street because it looks like the next 3 blocks are pretty packed up with stuff.
I appreciate it.
Some more vendors right here. Starting to open up a bit. There you go. So we are almost done with this. And then we're gonna walk back. Oh, this was the block that had all the food last year. This is it. So look, this is never mind. So I will say this: there's way more food this year than last year. It seems like it's just another block of food. Now this is the crowded block. So okay, so yeah, 9th Street. I had said earlier 8th or 9th Street. Now last year, over on this corner, there was a line going down the block. That ain't the case right now. But we're gonna walk through here. Now this is the block that's usually very crowded. I love it when people are trying to hand me flyers and I got a camera in my hand and I'm talking and I'm walking, but I mean, why would I take a flyer? All right, so let's get a look at some of the vendors here. This is a block that I'm gonna have to stop and look because you don't wanna walk really slow. So I'd rather just stop and look so people walk around me. All right, here we go. Not as crowded as last year, though. If you go back to last year's walk through here, you'll see it was crowded. I mean, I had trouble walking through this block. Way less people right now. I mean, there wasn't even open spots on the avenue. But not this year. Take a look at what some more stands over here. I'll tell you one thing. If you guys like dumplings, there's a lot of different stands selling dumplings. We made it to 10th Street. So this is where it's supposed to end on the next block. So here we go. Now that guy didn't try to hand me a flyer. He's smart. Here was Driscoll's. We saw them a few weeks ago at another festival.
She's gonna be living off that compliment for a year. Thank you.
Thank you.
So you got some figurines over here. So yeah, we've made it to 11th Street, and looks like we still got a couple more blocks. So this is why I say it is a pretty long street festival. We've walked all the way from pretty much almost Flatbush Avenue.
You won't know what's here until you see it, bud.
Less lively on this end. It's usually like that on the ends of the street festivals. You get to the ends and they're kind of quiet. Most of the people and most of the vendors congregate towards the center, the more popular ones. I guess the mentality is, you know, for most people, you walk into a street festival and you just want to just keep walking. So it takes a while before you want to stop and look at things. It's an interesting looking bike. I think that's a baby carriage, or, well, it's not a baby carriage, but it's like a container in the front. I didn't get a good look at it. I'll have to check the camera, check the footage when I go home later. All right, we are at the end, and we're gonna walk back now. And as we walk back, we will, oh, there's our candy apple vendor. I was actually thinking, are we gonna see candy apples? There they are right here. They're at all the street festivals we go to. All right. So it ends on 13th Street. Pretty good. Pretty impressive. We're almost in Sunset Park. We gotta walk all the way back down to Flatbush. Well, I forgot where we started. I think it was Sterling Place, but which is only a block away from Flatbush Avenue, but a couple of blocks from Flatbush Avenue. All right, so we're gonna now do our walk back, and we're gonna walk quicker. So this is where we now do the quicker walk back. It will not take us as long to walk back to the other ends as it took us to walk down to this end. You couldn't have a better day to have a festival. It is perfect outside. I mean, I'm not even breaking a sweat. I didn't see this cookies over here. Cookies look good. One thing I don't do like I used to when I was a teenager is I would just, you know how they call it bar hopping? I would food hop. I'd come with a lot of money in my pocket and I would just go to stand trying everything out. And then my mother would be mad at me because I'd come home and I wouldn't eat dinner because I was so stuffed. Today, it's not worried about gaining weight with the food. It's worried about losing weight in your wallet. I mean, some of these stands are charging things for like $17, and the last street festival I went to, I can't remember which one was it we went to. I think it was the Fifth Avenue one. But whatever, one of the last street festivals I went to, I got chicken tenders and fries with a Coke, and it costed me $18. I was like, God. And it wasn't even like a big serving, you know, it was a very small serving. All right, do we walk through here? Yeah, it's still not crowded. This is the block that is always usually very crowded, so we'll walk through it. What we'll do is we'll see if we catch any stands that I didn't catch on the first way through. See, this is the thing right here. Everybody just stops right in the middle. And this is what clogs up the roads, you know. Here we go. We'll walk right by this music. All right. That was loud. Spoonable spirits, Jello shots and pudding shots.
Oh no, that's for adults.
All right, let's get across 9th Street. So yeah, I would say this year's 7th Avenue Street Festival is just as good as last year's. Maybe not as crowded yet. It's still early though. I mean, it's around 12 o'clock, so we've got about 6 more hours of this. Most people show up to these things in mass by around, well, I'd say like in the next hour or two. So, and it is a Sunday. These are held, so these street festivals in New York, they're held all over the boroughs, the 5 boroughs. Well, it's mostly Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens has these. And they're on Saturdays and Sundays. And there's usually one really big one on a Sunday. This is the big one here in Park Slope, Brooklyn. T-Mobile truck. I didn't notice it earlier. I didn't even know T-Mobile was still around. I never hear of them. I'm a Verizon guy. I had years ago. I had a Nextel. You know, the one with a little chirping where you push the button and talk. Push the talk button. I think the service I used for that was Sprint. But I've mostly always been a Verizon guy. If you're old enough to remember, you remember before Verizon, it was 9X. Anybody remember 9X? That was before Verizon took it over. And then of course, you had Bell, the phone, we're talking like way back now, like when I was like maybe a kid or even before I was born, you know, like Bell Atlantic. But I remember 9X a lot because 9X was really mostly during when I was young and a teenager and before I went into the military, before Verizon came around. This guy thinks he's turning, but he's not. You're not turning. He had his turn signal on. All right, here we go. We are walking downhill. And luckily this time I haven't been stopped to take a flyer. I had a couple of guys back there try to hand me flyers, and I have the camera in my hand and I'm talking, and you can see my microphone. So
I'll be right over there. Okay.
now we're back. This is the other food block.
Best shot is his serve.
I'll give you guys a zoom. We are walking all the way down there. You can see all those people all the way down there. We're still in the number streets. We're on 4th Street right now, so we got to go all the way back to about Sterling Place. And we got to get past the church. So if you see that church out there, we got to walk past that.
Aguas frescas.
Cheers for $6.
What is this, sir?
Yeah, so we did the walk one way to take a look at all the vendors, and now we're just walking. I had to stop because someone was coming right in front of me. Now we're walking back, and we're just walking straight, taking a look at the people. People watching. That's what they call it here in the city. It's like bird watching. Honestly, I heard that term a while back. Somebody had said, "Oh, I'm into people watching." I'm like, what is people watching? Like, is that like bird watching? Like, what is that? All right. We're on the block with the rides again. We got a lot of smoke going over here, man. I think we got a fire going on. Whoa. That is a lot of smoke. I don't know if it's supposed to smoke that much.
I forgot to look.
We're at about 50 minutes. Yeah, I just looked at it. 50 minutes. This is a long walk. This is one of the longest street festival walks we'll do this year. Of course, the other ones are, and those are coming up at the ends of the ends of the festival year. We have the 18th Avenue Feast and the San Gennaro's Feast. And yes, we did those last year. You could watch those. But you could also wait for the new ones coming out later in the year. Now the 18th Avenue Feast is my favorite because that is my local feast. That was my neighborhood. And that's a feast I've been going to for a long time, since I was a kid in the 80s. So. But that's not until the end of the year. That's usually the that's a closeout feast in Brooklyn. That's that always happens the last week of summer. Well, the last unofficial week of summer. It leads into Labor Day. And then the San Gennaro feast in Little Italy in New York City is I want to say October. It always happens pretty late. That's the last feast. The San Gennaro is the last one, the grand finale. We did that one, and it was crowded. I went on the very first night it opened. I have a playlist. So if you go into my channel, there's a playlist that's called, well, I break it down to year, so you could go look at last year's. I think it's called Street Fairs and Festivals 2023, and then obviously I'm creating a playlist for this year. We got 2024 Street Festivals. So if if you're watching, this is your first time watching, and you've missed all the past ones, just go look for those playlists and you'll find them. You can see all the street festivals you missed in the last year. All right, we're on the name streets. We just passed Carroll Street. So we're getting close to the end. Hope everybody has enjoyed the walk.
Table out there.
No stage this year, though. And last year they had a really big stage and live music.
Guacamole.
All right, we have made it to Union Street. We got a few more blocks to go, and then we will be done. And we will have had I think this year so far, we've had 4 walks at street festivals, which is pretty good because considering this time last year, we had only done our first one. I think the first one we did last year was a Fifth Avenue Bay Ridge one, which is coming up, by the way. That one's coming up eventually. They call it the Fun on Fifth. That's the Bay Ridge Fifth Avenue Street Festival. But yeah, last year, by this point, we only had 1 street festival on our belt. And this year we have 4 at this point. If I remember correctly, we had This year we've done the Court Street Festival. We did Myrtle Avenue. The Myrtle Avenue one was actually in Queens. We started the walk in that one in Brooklyn and Bushwick, and then we walked into Ridgewood, Queens. So that was the second festival walk. And the third one we did, the last one we did, was the Fifth Avenue Park Slope one, which is just a couple blocks up from here. And now we're here at the 7th Avenue one. And the funny thing is, all of the street festivals that I've done since last year, I want to say it's maybe about 15 or 16 of them, the weather has been great. Every one of them. And these festivals operate rain or shine, by the way. They don't shut down if it's raining. Unless, of course, it's really stormy, you know. I'm sure everybody's going to run for cover, but these are open rain or shine. So, all right, so this is the first food block we have passed, where there's all these food stands all next to each other, and it's pretty crowded. So we're gonna try and get through here as quick as we can.
Remember, we have music together.
Trying to get around some people, so I'm walking a little closer to the stands. Again, there's a lot of people, they just stop right in the middle of the street and eat their food.
Close your eyes, close your mouth. Don't hold your hand.
All right, looks like we're at the end. There's the church. If you remember when we started, they were having a service here. They got some music going on. That's it. We're gonna end it. So I want to thank everybody for tagging along on our 4th street festival walk of the year. Park Slope, 7th Avenue. On a nice day, a day after we did a severe thunderstorm. We're now in the sun and there's no wind, no 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're back here on Sterling Place. All right, so I want to thank everybody for tagging along and hope everyone enjoyed that. And I am going to, it is a Sunday, so usually Sundays, the only time I do walks on Sundays is for the street festival. Sundays I like to not do anything, so I make exceptions for the street festival. So I'm gonna go straight home and get this up on YouTube and relax for the rest of the day. So everyone take care, and I will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.